beep, 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 beep. This week in Hollywood, August 9th, 1992. Wayne's World's famous Bohemian Rhapsody scene was almost ruined when Mike Myers accidentally hit his head so hard on the car roof during the headbanging sequence that he briefly forgot where he was and started reciting Shakespeare instead. So will starteth the opening anon.
For uncensored news, millions of Eastern Americans switch on Radio Free Hollywood, the new sound from outside.
This is Radio Free Hollywood.
Yeah, Mike
Kassir?
Myers, Shakespeare, they say that AI like hallucinates all over the place. I think this is one of them.
Is fat bastard. Fat bastard.
I know. You imagine him doing Shakespeare, really?
To be or not to be? That be a badass question.
I want you to get in my belly.
Well, whether it be better to eat the baby and put it in my belly,
baby.
or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by
Well, that was-
opposing fart then.
When I was looking this up, I ask AI for like 15 of these at a time, and most of them are totally lame. And some of them, there's like no way they happen. Like they said that on August 8th of, I can't remember what year, that Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson were doing the Super Bowl, and her wardrobe malfunctioned and the whole nipple slip thing happened. And it's like, yeah, the Super Bowl is not in August. So,
You're sitting there going, wait a minute, that did happen, but no,
it
not
happened,
in
but
August.
Not in August.
And it was
You-
not a malfunction.
No, it was not a malfunction. It was delicately planned.
Delicately, like he pointed at it, went like, ta-da.
I know. It wasn't even delicate. That's correct. There was nothing delicate about it. I remember watching that on TV, and it was right when DVR was first a thing.
Of course.
And so I said, play that back. What the hell just happened? Because they cut away from it really fast. I said, I think something just happened with her dress or something. We went back, wow, that is like serious. And then we had an ongoing debate about whether it was an accident or not. And
No, she was
It
wearing
was-
a nipple clip that looked like a blade off of a
Yeah,
buzzsaw with the center cut out of it.
It was like
I was
it was
that's
like a
bland.
Chinese throwing star. Is
That's
what
it.
Really
That's what it looked
like.
like.
It's like in case the paparazzi got too close, she could just like
Yeah.
hit someone in the forehead.
There you go.
So you've been traveling.
I was traveling. It was a tough July. Most of it was good. Doing some personal appearances. First, I was in Montreal for the Montreal Comic Con. What a blast! I love that city. Had an amazing time. My wife and I, and we extended it into a little vacay. And the weather was fantastic. The people were fantastic. And the convention was fantastic, and we had an amazing time. And then I was scheduled to be in Nashville, and Nashville was fun. That was a good time too. The people were always a blast down there. I didn't really get to spend much time down there, though. It was all work and no play. But got back, went and helped out a friend in one of the armpits of the country. I won't mention it
Yes.
because it's just one of those places where pretty much a restaurant desert where you can't get a meal that wasn't advertised on a flyer in your mailbox. Applebee's was the top of the line.
But that was the top of the line. That was the 5-star Applebee's.
Yeah,
Yelped it.
it would have not been as good as the Applebee's that you're used to. So, sadly, you know what? But that's how some people live in what they can afford to do, and I had to have respect for that. For the people, a place in the Midwest. That's all I'm going to say. And the people were habitually polite, which is a nice thing. And but the terrain was awful. The
The weather.
weather was awful. The
Well,
the amenities,
so you
of
came
life.
back from your trip. You went to Montreal, Nashville, and then parts
Fresno.
unknown in the Midwest. So your autograph hand is aching and you're still shaking the sand out of your ass?
My voice is shaking.
Oh, I see.
But the from doing the Crypt Keeper the whole time. But and then I was in Fresno, and the people are lovely in Fresno. Again, they have one of the worst asthma destinations in the country. Whatever's pollinating there is kind of a dust bowl, and also we were in the part of the valley there where the air is bad. So that triggered a badass cough and some bad.
Well, all the air around here is bad. There's a fire up above Santa Barbara that is like making the rounds. I had a headache for a couple of days from that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like you get a headache and you're like, what the hell? Why do I have a headache? And then you like look at you get pinged on your fire watch and you're like, oh, there's 75,000 acres on fire.
Oh yeah. I didn't even
that
realize
might be it.
And
Yeah,
you're like-
exactly. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, it's funny because it also like the wildlife has been different. Like I haven't really experienced many skunks, over the years. Although you'll smell them in the area, but this whole last week we've had, like, I actually could smell it inside the house. That's how it must have been walking along the perimeter of outside one of the sliders or something. So I could smell it out there. But it's been an interesting week because the weather was nice here, and now it's gone back
it's
up
really
to
hot now.
100 today. Everybody into the pool.
Everybody
And,
into the pool. That's right.
I just had my solar installed.
That's
And I'm
good.
going to figure out how that works. I'm going to figure out how to set it properly so that I can, get the most out of it in lowering my bill, but also have reserves for when they turn off
You're
our
supposed to send that guy to me because mine is like a disaster.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, it works, but it's like I know it wasn't set up right.
Yeah, if you don't have the proper amount, or if you use a lot of electricity, I mean, it's the thing that you don't realize when you set it up is that it's not only just to save you money you can't just go, well, I'm going to use the hell out of it because I'm getting all this solar.
No, it doesn't work that way. That I know. Yeah.
And then you're doing a lot off the grid, and nowadays you're not allowed to send back to the grid any longer or whatever, at least here. And so you don't get any money back from them.
No, they make you pay another $3,000 a year to use their grid because you have solar. It's like it's a racket. All right, we have a lot to get to today. So today we're talking about Donald Trump and saying he's going to use the National Guard or military to keep 2028 Los Angeles Olympics safe. This I find perplexing.
No, not only that, it's like you're sending people that aren't trained for that kind of thing. When Los Angeles has the gold standard and has for many years, it's
Of policing, I know.
Policing and responding to situations, and it's he'll do anything to try to get in the world eye and to try to get his Nobel Peace Prize.
No, Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, that's so stupid. Nobel Peace Prize. He I wouldn't give that idiot a Cracker Jack prize.
No, I tell you what he's going to do, if I may interject. I mean, this is my own opinion, but he's going to use that as an excuse to go, we're going to have to clean up the city and get rid of more of these. Since we've moved out of there, we have more immigrants, and we're going to have to clean it up.
Yeah. Well, a couple things. He said that because, of course, that's going to make everybody run around with their hair on fire because it's a distraction from the Epstein files.
Uh-huh.
Yet another distraction of which we've heard about 150 now. I mean, everything from the Washington Commanders having to change their name back to the Redskins. How that got to be a presidential thing, I have no idea. Up to missiles on the roof, which we were talking about before we started. I mean, he's walking around on the top of the White House talking about building missiles up. But what he's building is that stupid ballroom that's twice the size of the White House, and
Unbelievable.
it's like it's all just distraction. So hoping that we forget that he's mentioned in the Epstein files like 400 times. Well, but anyway, so
He's
yeah,
already spent more money on stuff that doesn't need to be spent money on, that could have been saving world hunger at this point.
oh, of course, and troops to the Olympics. Okay, so what are they? Maybe I'm thinking, maybe their plan is to arrest the visiting athletes as they get off the planes and deport them to El Salvador, which when you think about it, El Salvador would then have the best Olympic team in history for the Olympics after that.
I like it. I like it.
Yes. And what I just said is just as ludicrous as him trying to send troops to defend the Olympics somehow. That's no, you want no one to go to the Olympics? Let's put a whole lot of people holding automatic weapons out in front of the venues. Let's do that. That should really, really help tourism here, which is basically screwed to begin with, because I don't know if you saw this week, Vegas is having a huge problem. They're down like $90 billion in tourism this year because nobody wants to come here. They don't want to spend their money here. They don't want to come here and get arrested and deported and sent somewhere else. So they're just not coming. And I think that's nuts. That's crazy. A place like Vegas, where it's all tourism all the time, something's got to give.
I mean, it's got to affect enough people personally that have a say-so in keeping him in his strength of office. The midterms are going to be really, really important. And, the whole gerrymandering thing that they're doing in Texas, the Democrats from Texas having to leave the state and them threatening to arrest them for doing it, for not showing up because they can't vote on remapping Texas, the voting map in Texas. Well, I like what Newsom's plan is.
Yeah, and
he's
Kathy
going to redo it here in
Hochul,
LA.
or however you say
in
her name,
California.
Hochul.
What's that?
They're doing it in New York too.
Yeah.
They're going to match them. They're going to match them district for district.
Yeah.
It's just kind of too bad because
No,
you're
come
not,
on, man.
voting
Where's the
in districts.
cooperation in government? It's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. Who was talking about it? I think it was on Pivot last week. They were saying how in Congress they have separate fitness centers now for Republicans and Democrats because they can't be around each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you...
Well, they already used to have the bathroom stalls so that they could get, they could hand notes under the stall to the pages and get a little something on the side.
Yeah. Who was that guy in the airport? Where it was? I take a wide stance. Who was that? He was like a senator, a congressman or something, got arrested for like soliciting sex in the men's room in some airport. And his defense was, because I think the signal was you're supposed to put your like leg underneath the stall and like tap the other person. And his defense was, no, I wasn't doing that. I just take a wide stance.
Oh, boy.
I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of shit, I like
It's
this
all a
segue.
shit show.
It's all a shit show, yeah.
Whenever I talk to somebody who, I love or used to love, that, just out and out saying they were going to vote for Trump, I was like, go ahead. It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
That's the word I had to use, and that's what it is. It's a shit show. I don't care whether there are things that are moving in a positive direction or not. It's turned this country into a shit show. It's separated any cooperation from either side. And as you know, things that are important that get done are all in the gray areas. There are no gray areas anymore.
No.
Black and white, either you're on my side or you're not on my side, or I'm going to make this decision because it's vindictive towards what you did to our side. And, whether it's good for the country or not, it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable that anybody doesn't see what's happening.
I think everyone does see what's happening. The people that are benefiting from it in some way are behind it, which is, to stay in office to keep their job. That's congressmen and senators. What gets me is all this shit is coming down, and it really affects poor people. It affects
forget it.
Poor people, and it affects the poor white people that voted for Donald Trump. And they can't see their life getting worse.
Hey,
he said
listen.
he would drop grocery prices on day one. It's done nothing but go up, 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 and up. And it's going to keep going up. When the tariffs really hit, that's going to spark another bounce of inflation.
Yeah.
And, if you're like a Walmart shopper, that's going to affect you.
Yeah, you should have seen some of the prices. I mean, I'll go to places where the prices are a lot lower because the economy is lower in that particular place. And, there's people, you're paying $6 for a box of cereal. They're used to paying $1.99 for a box of cereal. And it's $4. And so that's twice what they were paying, and, whatever people say, because I've been going to these different places in the country, I hear it. I don't bring it up. I just hear it. I overhear it. People are
What
not
are they
happy.
saying? Are they complaining about the prices?
Oh yeah, whether they're blaming it on the current administration or not, that's another story.
Did you raise your autograph fee?
No, I wouldn't do that to my fans. I wouldn't.
Just to show
'Cause
them that inflation is real, John.
Hey, look, everybody likes to make a dollar, but I don't really do it only.
I wasn't being
but I don't do it
serious,
for the
John.
money.
I know you wouldn't.
No,
I was just saying.
I'm sure there are people who have, but at the same time, because of
yeah.
the economy, people should be looking to lower their.
Yeah,
fee.
it's like we get our eggs at the farmer's market, right?
Mhm.
Adrian goes on Sunday. She gets she gets like literally 4 dozen eggs because she's a chef and she actually goes through them. And they went up to like $27 for 40 eggs or something like that.
Oh, for
and
40.
The thing is, there's no good reason other than they can, because this is a local farm with the same chickens, same amount of chickens they had before Trump. And now, all these the price of eggs goes up in the supermarket and they go, oh, we'll just raise our prices too by like 20, 30%. So, I mean, I'll take it from those people. These are farmers. I'll take it. It's not good form, but sure, you get yours. That's what we used to say in New York. You go for yours.
You go get yours.
That's right. You go for yours.
Go for yours. It's but this is the state of things, and I think that people that not affecting enough directly, where they're like, I can afford whatever I want to do. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's just ignoring it.
If they raise prices at the Lambo dealership, it's like that's a good thing. But when people are like going to the dollar store and things don't cost $1 anymore, they cost $5, or to Walmart where he said the price of cereal has tripled. It's like that's for real. That's Joe the plumber. Remember Joe the plumber? Remember Joe the plumber getting in Obama's face?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it affects all those people.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's what did I buy the other day? I just had a couple of. Oh, I went for like 3 case salads in a deli. They were 50 after getting a $4 tip I gave to the counter people. It's $52
Wow.
for pints, 3 pints of
3 pints of salad.
chicken salad, a roasted vegetable salad, and a caprese salad.
I think we need to dig a bunker.
Oh yeah, you haven't yet? There's one on my property.
There's a bunker on your property?
It was already built.
Really? How many people does it hold?
It holds a lot of insects, is what it holds. Which I don't know. Maybe that's the food chain that they've decided to allow for you. But
Do you really have a bunker on your property that you're not telling me about? No, I didn't think
no,
so.
No.
Because you see, when the shit comes down, you see Steve's face pressed against
just
the glass. John, let me in, Johnny.
No, I got a weapon locker that's
We
big
had
enough
a
for us.
podcast.
I got a weapon locker with Wi-Fi in it that Vanessa and I could hang out in for a while. We have,
A
and
weapon
I am
like a safe
stocking up.
room?
I am stocking up.
You are?
No, it was bizarre because I literally have gone to, I've been to places where people are living, people that Trump's saying are not Americans because they're Native Americans.
Yeah.
They live in states where they don't need permit to carry. They don't need a permit to get a gun. They can buy as many as they want. And let me tell you something. They have militias. They have militias that are ready to go to protect themselves if they need to. They would not attack anybody, but they would certainly protect themselves with tooth and nail. And
So so there you go. Let's see.
Yeah.
You have a firearms locker, a big one?
no.
You don't have that
I'm
either.
being facetious.
You
There
don't
are
have a
people that
bunker. You don't have a gun safe. John,
I do have a gun safe, but it's not one I could live in.
no. So I don't even have a gun safe. Everybody keeps telling me I need to buy guns, but I just really not my thing.
I'm not a person to stock up on guns. I had a rifle that was a collectible one. It can be shot, but it's a collectible rifle from the Old West. And I bought that for its for those reasons. And I trained in handguns, especially since we used them in the movies and that kind of stuff. And as a result, wound up owning a Glock, and I like.
I thought you guys wound up owning 300 handguns.
300 handguns of various sizes and shapes, and now I'm actually building them now. So it's the bitch is keeping them all clean.
I've gone through so many wives that way.
Oh my God.
Cleaning my 300 handguns.
I told you don't look down that end of it when you're cleaning it.
Exactly. I was gonna say we should form a militia. Our own militia.
I'm telling you that you can go to. I don't doubt. First of all, I don't doubt that in our area there's more. There are ones, but not on our side.
Not on our side of town. No, we need to. We could get all of your actor friends, and we'll like form a militia. The only problem with it is they will always hear us coming.
I was approached to join a entertainment industry militia, but it was not on our side.
Yeah. Oh, an entertainment militia, a Republican.
I was brought to an evening to a little nightclub, thinking I was going with a friend just to hang out with some people,
and it was like a Klan
drinking
meeting
buddies
or
and stuff.
something.
And the next thing I know, we're hanging out by one of their trucks with a gun rack in the back and talking about this. And I'm like, Oh, okay. All right. You know.
So, did you sign up?
Oh, hell no.
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 Even though they probably were going to make you a
No, and I
general
would
or
never
something?
share. I would never share people's names. You know, people showed confidence in me in saying what they were all about. And you want to be what you're all about. As long as you're not doing anything illegal, what's it to me? But I'm not joining that. No. But no, I'm serious. That's absolutely true.
Hollywood is a big place, man.
Yeah, there's a few people, and these people don't hide from it. It's not like they're like, incognito for this. They would be people, the first ones to speak out that this is their, what they're about.
Well, this is the reason, another reason why we should form a militia on
Oh, yeah.
our side.
Yeah,
Well, just to defend our neighborhood,
yeah.
and not actually everybody in our neighborhood. Now that I'm thinking of, just our. What was it? There was a
I
family.
think it would be really
wasn't
great
there-
just to start like a Democratic gun shop. Where like the targets have like Trump on them and stuff like that.
yeah,
That
well,
would-
you'd get the FBI would visit you immediately if you
Yeah.
did. No, I was gonna say, you remember did you ever see that episode of Family Guy where he declares his yard a sovereign state?
No. Tell me more.
That's all I remember. Maybe
Oh.
Will remembers it, but I don't really remember I don't remember what the plot was. That was. Yeah. Yeah. See, we need to
Well,
do
what was
that.
the purpose of him making it a sovereign
Well,
state? So
you
that
know-
they couldn't bother him? Oh, not to pay taxes.
Yeah, he didn't want to pay taxes. Oh, that's
I
right. He didn't want to
see.
pay taxes.
I see.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be happy to. I will declare my property a sovereign state, and I will then invade your property, take it over, and call it a commonwealth.
There you go.
Okay, so then we can put our militia in both places.
I'm taking you and your gophers down.
That's right. Okay, let's
What's
go to
your
the
water-
second
what's your
story
water
because
bill?
we're like so far. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we haven't talked in a while. A lot has happened.
How's my water bill? Well, my water bill is very high.
Oh boy, I'm just talking about if you're going to take over somebody else's property.
Oh, I have to take
Property.
your water bill too. Oh, that gives me second thoughts. Maybe you'll be the sovereign nation, and I'll be the Commonwealth then,
Mm-hmm.
because I can tell you right now, you don't want my water bill. My
Oh,
water
boy.
bill is ridiculous, so bad.
I
More inflation.
I mean, I'll leave it with this. I do feel bad for people who really believed that there was a situation that would help them with this administration and are getting royally screwed, especially people like farmers, and people
yeah.
who have people who have businesses that depended on, their workers not being scared to stay home, even the ones who were Americans.
Yep.
I mean, why would people, accept living in fear? That's
Well-
gotta turn around. That's gotta have an effect that's going to.
Well,
have
when it
people-
affects their ability to, buy groceries and it is already, that's when the rubber meets the road. That's why that's why he has to go back and try to gerrymander everything,
yeah,
because, they can't win on the merits of the administration because there are none, not even to their own people.
Yeah.
What merits are there? Everything. He keeps blaming it on Biden, but Biden's not president now. You're president, you dumb shit. So
there isn't anything he said he was going to do within the first, week of administration or first day or first month or
the
first
war in
year of
Ukraine was supposed to
administration.
be over.
He hasn't done any of it. There isn't any of it that's happened. It's insane.
Ugh, Donnie. Shut the fuck
Next.
up, Donnie.
Shut up, Donnie.
shut the fuck up.
Doesn't
Donnie.
surprise any of us who knew what was going on from the get-go.
No, it's true. He's a liar. I mean, we're all from the East Coast. We've been around this guy our whole lives. You know, everybody knew he was a con man on the East Coast.
Mm.
Anyway, but let's move on. I really wanted to get your take on this one. News story number 2 from Deadline. George Clooney hits back at critics who question his versatility as an actor. Quote, "I don't give a shit." George Clooney is hitting back at actors who question his range as an actor, speaking to Vanity Fair for a preview piece on Noah Baumbach's Jay Kelly. The 2-time Oscar winner didn't mince words when addressing criticism that his characters are tantamount to playing versions of himself on screen. Duh. Do people say that I only play myself? I don't give a shit, the Good Night, Good Luck actor said. There aren't that many guys in my age group that are allowed to do both broad comedies like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and then do Michael Clayton or Syriana, for which he won a Best Supporting Actor Academy Award. So if that means I'm playing myself all the time, I don't give a shit.
There you go.
It's like he's just counting his money. He gets to work. He gets to be a movie star. He gets to do all that stuff. Why would he give a shit?
Yeah, go back through history. Who are the biggest stars you remember? Guys that played themselves over and over and over again. Jimmy
Exactly.
Stewart, Cary Grant. You know, unless you're going to get into the category of like a Philip Seymour Hoffman or something who's a chameleon, you know, but he still looked like himself. You know, what is it? You know, as he wasn't Lon Chaney Jr., who, you know, changed his complete look every time. If you're a good actor, you are using parts of yourself in everything that you do.
That's right. So you are going to kind of like...
I've had it with critics anyway. It's like they have these people going, oh, well, you know, it's like, I know we're going to talk about the Billy Joel documentary. Yeah. And when I looked back on that and saw that all these music critics that would go, oh, well, he's changed up what he does. Has he lost it? What is this? Blah, 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 blah. And I go, the guy's an artist. You go back and look at everything he's ever written. It all had to do with what was going on in his life. Are you telling me his life has to be the same all the time? And as a result, he's not allowed to do art, which of course is expressing himself with what's happening to him, his life, through music. And it's all brilliant. And it's like, where do these people even have the qualifications to even say that? What music did
somebody
they
gave
create?
him a job and a column.
Yeah, but where did they? When did they create music? When did their opinion become important enough for anybody to care?
Well,
I don't remember ever reading a review of Billy Joel's music because I didn't care because I love Billy Joel's music.
Have you ever read a review of a musician? I've never read a review of a musician or an
I have
album
of an album when it's come out here or there.
Oh, I never have, simply because
I don't on a regular basis.
If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
That's it.
Like I don't need someone to tell me whether I'm going to like it or not.
Yeah.
I think good critics happen by accident.
Yeah.
You know, like Roger Ebert. You know, that guy was a really good critic. He said stuff that people actually listened to. Not the artists listened to him because he wasn't mean. He had his opinion on what worked and what didn't work, and he was right. Like all the time.
Well, he also came from a point of view of this is what I saw, and you be the judge of whether it's something you'd want to see or not want to see.
Yeah, that's why it was so great, that show he had with Gene Siskel.
Yeah.
Because they didn't agree on anything. They saw everything different, and to the point of by the end of that show, they weren't even speaking to each other. They had been they weren't insulting to the projects. They were insulting to each other, which was
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
I always loved that.
Yeah. That.
It was so good.
Point, counterpoint.
Point, counterpoint.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, George Clooney should care about anything in the world, and people should think that he is going to care what they have to say. Let's see, he's married to this beautiful, successful, international lawyer. He's got kids now. He's got, he's probably got $500 million in the bank. And he's supposed to care what these idiots say about his performances anymore.
Let's go to Bellagio.
Yeah, exactly. My attitude would be, you're lucky I'm even coming out and playing any more roles because I don't have to.
It's insane. Well, he likes doing it. Why wouldn't he do it? It's something that he loves doing. He's always been an actor. He started out in small projects, commercials and, a small part here or there in a sitcom. I met George years ago when he was married to Talia Balsam, who was Martin Balsam's daughter.
Yeah.
And Talia and I were doing a play. We played husband and wife. She's a wonderful actress. She's continues to work. I've seen her in some really good things over the last few years, whatever. And of course, her father was an amazing actor. And, and they were like, people were like, oh, of course. And Kelly, Kelly Curtis was also in the play with us, Tony Curtis's daughter and Jamie Lee Curtis's sister. And so, the first great surprise was Janet Leigh showing up and getting to meet her. I was like, oh my God. And they were like, oh, George Clooney's coming by. And we're like, well, who's George Clooney? Well, it's Talia's husband. And we go, he's, and then I find out that he was doing, played one of the characters' boyfriends on Roseanne or something like that.
No, it was One Day at a Time.
Is that what it was? I think he was on Roseanne as well, maybe.
Oh, probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
Whatever it was, here was a very talented guy that, and already people recognize him as having star power, working his way up like everybody else. And, just got to have a brief conversation, got to briefly meet him, and he seemed like a really great guy. And then he started to show up in great stuff. And of course, before you knew it, people were saying, oh, you got a Clooney haircut. You made it when somebody's like comparing, your style to somebody,
That happens
people.
to me all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I have a
You
Clooney
got the George
haircut.
Carlin look. You got the George Carlin
George
look going
Carlin
on.
look.
I
was kind of going for Brad Pitt, and I ended up as George Carlin.
Yeah, when's Brad Pitt not Brad Pitt?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. Talk about someone who plays himself all the time.
And he's amazing.
The only
at
time
it.
he wasn't himself was when he played. What was the name of the movie? Pikey. When he played Pikey, Will knows. I can see him chomping at the bit. He's getting his headset on. He's gonna tell us what it was.
You talking about?
No, he's answering the phone. Never mind. He's not even watching us here.
You talking about Brad Pitt?
No.
Oh, Clooney. George Clooney.
No, I was talking about Brad Pitt. What the hell was the movie? The character's name was Pikey, and he was like a gypsy in it.
Oh.
It was like Train Spotting or something. I can't remember. One of those kinds of movies.
When he talks in gibberish.
Yeah, you're talking about Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. He was in the
Okay.
Guy Ritchie movie where he's,
Right.
he's talking. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
understand a word he's saying and all that stuff. Is that the one?
Yes,
Yes, there you go.
but seeing as Will took a call, we can't find out what the name of the movie is. We'll tell you later. Let's move on to Billy Joel.
He also played a guy in the insane asylum in 12 Monkeys and all that stuff. It's they're both great actors. It's
That's true.
I saw George on the televised version of the Edward R. Murrow play.
Good night and good luck.
Good night and good luck.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. It was very much not him. It was very much.
That's good.
Not that he didn't plug himself into it. He did, but
That's good. Okay,
fools.
we're gonna,
Fool with a pencil and a paper.
right. We are going to now talk about Billy Joel because we don't want to go over our allotted time limit. The producer told us to keep going, so he hasn't been paying attention anyway.
He hasn't been paying
as
us
well.
either, so what difference does it make?
Exactly.
Now we really go off the rails.
Now we do. Because we're gonna talk about Billy Joel. Because what's more off the rails than Billy Joel?
Because only the good die young.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We didn't start the fire.
I really liked it.
Oh,
It
it was
was-
great. What a great documentary.
Well, it's like it's like dead on in our time period, John.
Oh, for
And that,
sure.
I remember in 1977 when I was a senior in high school, going to see him for the first time, and it was the Piano Man tour, and it was like just
What was the venue?
the Bushnell Auditorium, which was at the time next to the Civic Center, which he wasn't playing arenas yet. He was playing these, big music halls, and Bushnell was a big music hall, a classical music hall.
Mhm.
And it was just like, it was so good. He was just so good. I remember the lights went out, and then you just started hearing the Moog kind of like go. And since you were like really stoned, as I was, it just sort of rocked your world. And then he like went into his set, and it was like it was all really good. I remember the first time I heard Piano Man, I was like in my basement, and I was like, what the hell is that? It
That
was
was
so
my audition
different.
song for many years for all
It
musicals
was.
in New York.
Wow.
Yeah. Had good range to it, showed off my chops. It would have been better if I could have sat down to the piano and sang it, but
Yeah.
I don't play. But the thing that was fascinating about it was to go through his life and to see how everything he did correlated to what was happening in his life.
Yeah.
Every piece of music that he wrote, or every piece of music he came back to, whether it was classical or rock or pop, because he started out, his dad was a classical musician and he a pianist, and he used to get slapped in the head for fooling around with it and making it fun, and but that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to write his own music, but then he came, like one of the last albums that he's made was his classical album. Coming back around to it. But it was just so amazing to see how much he plugged himself into it and how brilliant he was musically.
But you
He's just
see,
one of those guys that just like whatever he thought and felt, he could transpose it into music without even thinking about it.
yeah, I mean, it's true. What got me was in his introduction, he's talking about the house on the hill that he bought.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he spoke to a famous chef once and asked him how did you get so good? And the chef said, it's all in the recovery,
Yeah.
how you correct your mistakes. And that's like, I couldn't agree more. And I tell people around here all the time, it's not the mistakes you make, it's how you fix them. And, but it's much more poetic when someone says it's all in the recovery. That's kind of it. And I think that the documentary really made me understand as a young person, as a teenager, and then into my 20s, why I was kind of drawn to his music. And it was, the documentary really made me see, okay, this guy, his music from that era, from the 70s and early 80s, is sad and it's angry. And, I was that guy. I was sad and angry. So he spoke to me.
Yeah. It was also personal.
Yeah.
And everything he wrote told a story. We're storytellers ourselves, but to have, it was like, you're always like, who's this Virginia? Who, come on, Virginia, don't make me wait. Who is this Virginia?
Yeah.
And it's like that, only the good die young, it's like that talks to everybody, but at the same time, it's coming from a personal place of a specific person,
Right.
but it's a universal theme every time. It's amazing, she's, we've all been in a relationship. It's like, okay, well, she was, she lies like she steals like a thief, but she's always a woman to me. It's just like,
exactly. Yeah.
all these different things you could apply to your own life, but at the same time, I now know that he wasn't trying to speak to everybody. He was just talking about what was going on in his own life.
Yeah, it's true. And then it's interesting because the Christy Brinkley section. It's funny how he kind of retreated into this 50s doo-wop Frankie Valli thing, which I wasn't too much of a fan of that when it came out. It's like, okay, I mean, that's cool. It doesn't really turn me on very much, but yeah, it's fun. That's
well,
fun.
I mean, he said,
I think he was having fun at that
Yeah,
time
not
in
only
his
that,
life
he was
until
saying
he
he was-
fucked it
he-
up, of course.
yeah. But he also said he was doing a nod to the music that influenced him.
Yeah.
Where he started.
Yeah.
Because he started out doing cover stuff. I mean, it's amazing when he started working that he didn't even think about writing his own music.
No.
And then
Oh,
all of a
well,
sudden-
you got on Apple Music. They do have the documentary, the music track to the documentary, but instead of just going in and out of the songs, they play every single song. So you hear the songs he did with the Hassles, which was really kind of very much in a early 60s, late Frankie Valli, early Beatles sort of vibe.
Is that the
going
one
on.
about his dad not understanding him, or he's no? Okay, go ahead.
No, I don't think so. And then after that was Attila, which they were trying to do a heavy metal band,
Yeah.
and it was so bad. And he talks about how bad it was because we couldn't keep people in the club. They just wanted to get away from us. But you can kind of see the progression, and then when they talk in the documentary about him moving to LA and eventually getting into a piano, having to work in a piano bar because his manager was ripping him off so bad he couldn't
Oh my
actually
God.
work.
It's amazing.
You can hear in that Cold Spring Harbor album, because they remixed all of it because it was trash when it came out because it was mastered at like 125%. So it's almost Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like if you hear I have the original album, and you can't even listen to it. You just,
Oh yeah, they sped it up.
Yeah, it's all sped up and
that
like
guy
really
was
bad.
that guy was a piece of work.
But
his first manager,
if you hear some of the tracks on that album as they remix them, you hear like you hear pieces of the Piano Man coming out. You hear pieces of other things that were on the Piano Man album, and then on Turnstiles and The Entertainer, and you can hear it's good. You can really hear the sort of the progression of how he's moving in that direction.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and then after the Frankie Valli stuff in the 80s, I guess it was, when he went back and he did like Storm, what is it? Storm something? Storm Warning.
Storm warning.
He's starting to become an activist, and he's like talking about the people. He's talking about the blue collar people. He's talking about other people's pain. And I like that too. The only stuff that I'm not crazy about
We
was
were
that.
playing Who Didn't Stop the Fires, for history lessons for kids.
Oh, I know. That was great.
That was awesome. I was like, I had no idea. But I
Yeah.
mean, I was always blown away by the fact that he was doing these concerts at Madison Square Garden, and like they were the house band there.
Yeah.
And then when they tell you how many he did 100 sold out performances at Madison Square Garden, I can
Right.
guarantee you how much did you think of, how much of that audience do you think were people that came every time?
Oh,
You
a
know,
lot.
a lot.
A lot
You
of
made
those
the
people.
tickets affordable, and you just fill the house with a bunch of people that
Yeah, he
will
made it
come.
a date. He made it a date night. It's
Yeah.
like, I
If I,
mean,
if I would lived there, and
oh yeah,
back in the day, that would have been something that I would have done every time he played.
yeah. And the other thing that got me, it's like, I think when he was doing it, it was a different time in my life, probably yours too, John, where I wasn't going to concerts or anything. I was just working and trying to like support
Yeah.
my family.
Yeah.
When he was playing with Elton John, he played so many gigs with Elton John. I never
What did
knew.
they say? 17 years they played together or something
Yeah,
like
off
that?
and
I was
on for
like,
17
what?
years.
When
It's
did
like,
that happen? I
who
don't
knew that?
remember
I didn't
him
know that.
touring with Elton John for 17 years. It's just like, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, the only part during that I knew about was his split with his drummer, with Liberty DeVito. I knew about that and they kind of glossed over it. It was pretty acrimonious, actually, really acrimonious. It was more than just hurt feelings. It's like
Yeah.
there was money involved. I think Liberty was
Oh,
owed a lot of money too.
really?
Yeah.
Really?
But I don't know whether they finally settled up or they
Well,
got
they
over it
became
or
friends
whatever.
again, so there must have
Yeah,
been something that worked out for him.
something got worked out. But yeah, I found that interesting because that's the thing. When he dropped him, it was over
Well, he also
tempo.
dropped Ramon as his producer.
He's dropped Phil Ramone too. Well,
Yeah.
that's an artist. He's going to do what he needs to do to get the sound he needs to get.
Yeah.
And the only person that knows that sound is him because it's going on in his head. So
Yeah.
I get that. It's like I know artists move on. Trust me, as an agent, I know artists move on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of part of it.
Not always for the better, but
No, not always for the better. They tend to either wait too long before they move on, and thinking that a fresh start is actually going to be significantly different, or sometimes it just doesn't work out. That's one thing. It's most times when artists move on from agencies or producers or whatever, it's because they're not getting the work they want to get. In Billy Joel's case, he was not getting he was not making the music he wanted to make at that point in his life with Phil Ramone. He wanted to make that kind of music earlier, but when he moved on, he moved on, and that happens. That's art. That's
yeah.
same reason why Stephen Sondheim went from Harold Prince to James Lapine. I mean, they just got to the end of the line,
Yeah.
and that was that. So, what else did you like?
No, it's just really interesting. I mean, it's amazing sometimes when they put together a documentary like that, how much film they have of one person's life throughout their life. I mean, when Ron Howard did that documentary of the Beatles, I was like, holy crap, they always had a camera. And it wasn't video, it was film. I mean, somebody had to be really do the effort and get the lighting and get the sound and all that stuff to be able to shoot all that. And how much of his life was covered. I mean, obviously the performances, but then all these, photographs of them out and these photographs together with other people and, footage. I mean, the amazing thing about somebody who put that together was everything that they had to compile in order to make it not only a full documentary, but a cohesive one and not a redundant one.
Right.
So that's what I loved about it. It was, like I saw the documentary of Jane Mansfield, put together.
Oh yeah, I did.
by
I looked at that
Mariska
too. Yeah.
Hargitay, and it's really great.
It is
But
good.
But it doesn't. It doesn't have the variety to it. It's every moment of it feels precious, and I don't think it was on purpose. I think that's just because it when what you have available to you to make it with. And it was a beautiful love song to her mom, but at the same time, Billy Joel's documentary was a ride, and
Yeah.
it's long, it's 2 parts, and it's like feel
Okay.
like I spent 2
4
whole
hours
days
long, that
watching
thing.
it.
Yeah. Well, you did.
Yeah.
It's just 4
You
hours
know,
long.
and but it was and I didn't get bored with it, and I found it amazing. I found it a great story, and found it enjoyed it as him as a great artist, and I felt for him for everything he went through, and I also went, you can't ask for that, pal,
Yeah.
kind of thing at the right times, and you know, uh,
I think they were very good in that documentary, keeping the protagonist likable.
yeah,
Because, I think because he was so kind of exacting in his art and he wanted what he wanted. I'm sure he wasn't as nice as that all the time. I'm
yeah,
sure that
yeah,
he spent a pretty good amount of time kind of as a jerk. But
yeah,
they never really did that other than him saying it himself, how he screwed up, how,
yeah,
he didn't treat people correctly, how, he let alcohol get the better of him. It's good. He takes responsibility for it. That's someone who's had a lot of therapy
yeah.
also.
But he's also a very intelligent guy, I mean, and I'm sure that the years of the drinking and the drugs and all that stuff probably dulled his intelligence, and when he came out at the other end, he not only learned his lessons, but he also had a different perspective on his own life.
I couldn't believe he could still sing when he
Oh my
came out
God.
of that era when,
Oh my God.
and this is before he started Madison Square Garden or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, they
But he
asked
could
him to
still
do
do it.
that concert,
Hmm.
the charity concert, and they went, "Oh my God, everybody loves him more than everybody." And look how great his voice sounds, and he's blah blah blah, and this and that kind of thing. And there you go.
Yeah, well,
That's like the Three Stooges making more money on their tour than they ever made on television, and most of them were dead at that point.
wow. They were on tour and they were dead at the same time.
Some of them were.
Yeah.
Hey Mo, what Mo can I say? Beep, 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 beep.
It's very Weekend at Bernie's, Weekend at Moe's house.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Curly and Shemp were already dead when they started doing that.
Oh,
Yeah, sadly.
okay. Well, let's leave on a happy note. I'm happy for Billy Joel that he got married to a nice woman. He has 2 kids that he really seems to be into, and he is sick, but supposedly he can get over it. He has some kind of encephalitis that
Yeah.
affecting his brain, but apparently medication gets it under control. So maybe he'll be back
Yeah.
and playing in a city near you. Anyway, that's
Sing
it.
us a song, you're the piano man.
That's it for Radio Free Hollywood. I'm Steve Jacob.
And I'm John Kassir.
Everyone just build a bunker, collect weapons, and when we're ready to start our militia, we'll get in touch.
'Cause only the good die young.
You imagine us in a militia.
We're going to sing you to death.
That's right. That's what I said before. You talked over this great joke that I had.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
I said, we'll get like all your actor friends and we'll form a militia. The only problem is they'll always be able to hear us coming. Anyway, okay, Johnny. Thanks a lot.
I will never play myself.
I
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, George Clooney.
All right. This is George Carlin saying, see you next time. And Will has left the building, so I don't know how we turn this
This
off.
has been Radio Free Hollywood.
Radio Free
This has
Hollywood.
been Radio
This has
Free
been
Hollywood.
Radio Free Hollywood.
La da di di da da. La da di di da.